Hello, and welcome to our channel Think, Explore, and Learn. Today, we're going to talk about a fascinating book. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. The book talks about some of the most successful people in history and how they achieved success. You might be wondering, what do Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, and the Wright brothers have in common? They all understood one thing: the power of purpose. According to Simon Sinek, the reason why people buy into an idea, project, or product is that they understand why it exists. And this understanding comes from a sense of purpose. Purpose is the reason why we do what we do. People do their best work and inspire others when they know why they're doing what they're doing. Sinek argues that this is a trait you'll find in every great leader and successful organization. However, leading with purpose is not about striving to make money. It's about engaging in purposeful activity, which often results in financial gain. In fact, Sinek explains how purposeful organizations outperform their competitors and have a better chance of long-term success. In the book, Sinek offers a framework that shows how organizations can be designed for success and how people can be inspired. The framework provides insights into how businesses can avoid the pitfall of manipulating customers, and how Apple's message taps into the decision-making center of the brain. Additionally, Sinek talks about how one of the world's most successful retailers lost its way and the lessons we can learn from that experience. In this book, Sinek discusses the concept that success is the fruit of design, not of short-term patches. He uses the story of American and Japanese car manufacturers to illustrate this point. When American car manufacturers saw Japanese assembly lines, they were surprised that there was no worker tapping the edges of car doors to ensure they fit, unlike in American factories. When asked how they managed without this position, their Japanese guide replied, "We make sure it fits when we design it." This story highlights the importance of designing products and companies for long-term success, rather than relying on short-term fixes. Successful organizations build their products and companies according to a blueprint, making things fit by design, not by default. This approach has many benefits, including creating products that are more structurally sound and have a longer lifespan. It also eliminates the need to buy mallets or hire workers to wield them, which saves money, time, and hassle. However, many organizations don't follow this approach. Instead, they rely on short-term patches to achieve their goals, rather than engineering the outcome they want from the beginning. While this might keep things running, it's not the best approach for long-term success. To guarantee long-term success, leaders must start with a decision and build their organizations according to a blueprint. This begins with asking a simple but powerful question: why? In the next section, we'll explore the power of purpose in design and how leaders can create organizations that are built for long-term success. Sinek discusses the dangers of manipulating consumers. He uses the example of GM, which offered customers cashback deals to boost sales, but by 2008, it was losing $729 for every vehicle sold. The key message here is that manipulating consumers might bring short-term benefits, but it undermines firms' long-term viability. Manipulation takes many forms, including clearance sales, two-for-one deals, advertising hype, and appeals to authority. While these tactics might be effective in the short term, they rarely pay off in the long run. For example, when companies engage in a price game to attract customers, they quickly become reliant on the strategy and struggle to increase prices later on. This leads to slimmer margins that can only be offset by more sales, which in turn require even lower prices. Furthermore, manipulating consumers doesn't build loyalty, only transactions. In the long run, this is not a sustainable basis for a business. Companies that engage in manipulative tactics often suffer from a damaged reputation, as seen with Walmart's treatment of underpaid and overworked employees in its U.S. stores. The alternative to manipulation is building a loyal customer base through purposeful activity. Companies that focus on the why of their products and services, rather than the what or how, build relationships with their customers and establish a sense of trust and loyalty. This creates long-term viability for the business and leads to sustained success. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into this alternative approach and explore how companies can build a loyal customer base by leading with purpose. Sinek continues by using the example of Apple to illustrate how successful companies don't just sell products. They affirm their customers' beliefs and values. While Apple is just another computer company like Dell, HP, or Toshiba, it has been hugely successful in all three market categories because it focuses on the why of its products and services. Unlike most companies that describe what they do, state why they're better than their competitors, and wrap things up with a call to action, Apple's pitch is about challenging the status quo and thinking differently. Its message is that if we also believe in creativity and thinking outside the box, Apple is the right company for us. This approach is a great example of starting with why. By focusing on why they do what they do, companies like Apple connect with their customers on a deeper level. They don't just see them as consumers, they see them as people with beliefs and values. This creates a sense of trust and loyalty that is hard to achieve with manipulative tactics. But why is this kind of message so persuasive? To answer that question, we need to look at human biology. The decision-making center of the brain, the limbic system, is responsible for our feelings and emotions. It's also the part of the brain that processes why we do what we do. By starting with why, companies like Apple tap into the limbic system, creating an emotional connection with their customers that goes beyond the product or service being offered. In the next section, we'll explore how companies can tap into the limbic system and create an emotional connection with their customers by leading with purpose. We'll also look at how this approach can help companies achieve long-term success. To inspire people, you must start with why. Now that we've seen that our limbic brain is the driver behind behavior, it's clear that our emotions play a bigger role in decision-making than we might have thought. So how do you tap into someone's emotions and inspire them to act? The key message here is, to inspire people, you must start with why. Let's look at an example from the world of sports. In 2008, David Novak took over as CEO of Yum! Brands, the company that owns KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell. Novak realized that the organization's results were stagnating because his employees lacked a sense of purpose. He began an initiative he called Taking People With You, which aimed to help employees understand why their work was important. He started by using his own personal story of why he was passionate about Yum! Brands. Then he asked his top executives to share their own stories, and then each executive trained their team to do the same. As a result, the company's engagement scores skyrocketed, and the stock price doubled in just 2 years. What Novak had done was to tap into the limbic brain of his employees by telling them why their work mattered. He gave them a sense of purpose beyond just making fast food, and that made all the difference. This concept applies to any industry, including the world of sports. Take the example of the rugby team from the small South African town of Bloemfontein. When their coach, Nakadrotske, took over the team, he had a problem. The team was made up of players from different backgrounds who didn't really know each other, and they lacked a sense of purpose. Drotsky decided to start by asking each player to share their story of why they loved rugby. They shared stories of growing up playing in the streets or watching their fathers play on the weekends. Then they worked together to create a team vision based on their shared values of courage, hard work, and loyalty. The result was a team that had a deep sense of purpose and a shared understanding of why they were playing. They went on to win the Currie Cup, South Africa's top rugby trophy, in 2005. The lesson here is clear. If you want to inspire people and create a sense of purpose, you need to start with why. Innovations gain mass appeal through the dedication of a minority of true believers. In order for a new product or idea to gain popularity, it needs to win the support of a small number of dedicated advocates. This concept, known as the law of diffusion, was developed by Everett M. Rogers in 1962. According to Rogers, society can be divided into 5 categories, each with a different response to innovation. The first 2.5% are the innovators, followed by the next 13.5% who are early adopters. The next groups, which make up 68% of the population, are the early majority and the late majority, and finally the last 16% are laggards. The innovators and early adopters are willing to take a chance on a new product or idea because it aligns with their values and beliefs. The majority of people, on the other hand, are more pragmatic and won't try something until someone else recommends it to them. In order for an innovation to gain traction with the masses, it needs to be championed by a minority of dedicated supporters who can spread the word and convince others to try it. This is true not only in business but also in social and political movements. Martin Luther King Jr., for example, was able to mobilize a large number of people for the civil rights movement because of the passionate support of a small group of dedicated followers who believed in his message. The author continues by giving an example of Walmart. Walmart started as a small retail establishment founded on values of hard work and fairness. but eventually grew into a giant corporation that lost sight of its why after the death of its founder, Sam Walton. Walmart abandoned its commitment to the community and instead focused on selling as much as possible at the lowest prices. This strategy was successful financially, but Walmart's leadership lost its sense of purpose, leading to 73 new lawsuits for violating employee rights, negative public perception, and a feeling of discontent within the company. This is a common issue among American businesses, where success breeds overconfidence and a loss of sight of the company's original purpose. Teams that focus on what often fail, while those that start with why can achieve extraordinary results. Samuel Pierpont Langley was a well-connected senior officer at the Smithsonian Institute with a $50,000 research grant from the U.S. War Department, who was attempting to be the first person to fly. However, despite having the brightest minds in the United States working on his project and the support of influential people, he failed to make his contraption fly. Meanwhile, the Wright brothers, who had no college degrees and had funded their project through their bicycle shop, succeeded in making the first ever flight with their flying machine. The key difference between the two teams was their approach. Langley was focused on the what. He wanted fame and prestige that came with a major scientific breakthrough, and was indifferent to its application. In contrast, the Wright brothers started with why. They genuinely cared about solving the problem of flight and balance, and knew that if they succeeded, it would change the world forever. They had a dedicated team who believed in their cause, and this inspired them to work tirelessly and achieve the impossible. The lesson here is that teams that start with why can achieve extraordinary results. Hiring people for what they can do for you will make them work for your money, but hiring people who believe in your why will make them give you their blood, sweat, and tears. Teams that focus on the what often fail, but those that start with why can achieve great things. In conclusion, the book Start with Why by Simon Sinek emphasizes the importance of starting with why in order to create a powerful and lasting impact. By focusing on the underlying purpose and belief that drives an organization or individual, they can connect with others on a deeper level and inspire long-term loyalty and success. Through real-world examples and the author's own insights, the book provides a compelling case for putting why at the forefront of any endeavor. Whether in business, personal relationships, or social movements, remembering why can help drive purposeful action and achieve extraordinary achievements. As we wrap up, we encourage you to think about your own why and how it can guide your decisions and actions. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or anyone looking to make a positive impact, starting with why can help you stay focused, motivated, and inspired. So take some time to reflect on your own purpose and how you can use it to create meaningful change in your life and the world around you. If you found this video informative and helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below with your thoughts and feedback. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos on personal and professional growth. Hit the notification bell to get updates on our latest uploads. And if you think this video can benefit others, please share it on your social media platforms. Together, let's spread the message of starting with why and inspire others to find their purpose and achieve greater success. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.